Good day,
Fucking
everybody.
love it.
Welcome. Well, you like that, do you?
Yeah.
Me too. Welcome to the Ammunation. Get in the chopper, commie is my favorite phrase. Welcome to the Ammunation. It is what is it? Saturday, December 2nd, and
The
I'm here with
second
my co-host, the intolerable Irving Twin. How you been, my friend?
living the dream, sir. How are you? You look very spiffy. You must have been up to something.
I have I'm moonlighting as a funeral director, so I have two jobs. So someone died. I had to direct the funeral tonight. No, we were out at the wife's staff Christmas dinner thing, so I had to get dressed up, and we got in like just before 10. And you and I only were able to chat for a couple minutes. So
Yeah.
so yeah,
You pulled an Irving, right? I was
yeah, I
doing that
pulled
all
an
summer.
Irving. Except I wasn't swimming and eating steak. I had a I had a chicken breast and some braised carrots and peppers. It was all right. It was typical banquet hall fare. It was okay food. It was nothing amazing, but it was okay food. Anyway, how have you been, sir?
Yeah, no, fuck, that's so Canadian, apparently. Yeah,
What?
no, yeah.
Yeah, no, yeah, fine, yeah, yeah, I know. Yeah, it is. But you know what? It's not just us. I think the New Zealanders do it. I think it got. You ever watch Flight of the Concords?
Oh, not like a serious sit down watch a whole episode, but I'm sure
Well,
I've heard the jokes and seen the
the,
memes.
the shorter, dark haired guy with the beard, his name's Britt or Brett, but I think they call him Brit. Anyway, he kind of got that thing
Memes.
really popular, going, yeah, no, saying yeah, no to everything. So,
No,
yeah,
yeah, there was a translator somewhere, right? That yeah, no means yeah, no, yeah means no, yeah, no, yeah means maybe, and no, yeah, no means everything is fucked beyond belief.
see, I always thought yeah, no meant no. Like the yeah is you're acknowledging what was being said to you, and the no is your
Oh,
response to
maybe.
the request.
See,
Yeah,
it
no,
only happens colloquially, so I don't really think about it.
yeah.
Yeah, no.
I only ever use it like as a joke to like piss somebody off. Hey, dude, can you give me that thing over there? Yeah, no, you know. Anyway, folks, welcome to the Ammunition. I don't know how many. It says we got 3 people watching, which is probably you, me, and some other schmuck. I hope you're all having a wonderful December. December just started. It's already miserable out there. It's raining all night. Cold. Not a fan. Not a fan.
Yeah, this is the worst part of Toronto winters, I think, like because it's all where the lake effect keeps it warm enough to be shitty
Yep.
instead of to be idyllic, right? Like,
Yeah. That's why we don't get real dumpings until like late January, early February when it really starts to get cold.
yeah,
Oh well, it is what it is. I'm trying to convince the wife that we need to retire to North Carolina, and she's like, "Well, why? Why would I want to go to North Carolina?" I'm like, "Because it's the perfect. It's better than Florida because it's not hot. It's mild. It's cheaper than Florida. It doesn't have the crime that Florida has. It doesn't have the insane people that Florida has. Plus, Krispy Kreme got its start there, and they've got amazing barbecue, better barbecue than anywhere else in the world, apparently."
uh,
Apparently, North
it's good.
Carolina is the barbecue place.
One of
It's
the big
where people
four.
go and do barbecue. What's that?
It's one of the big four. It's one of the big four styles in America for sure.
Is it Carolina
Yeah, I
barbecue?
think so. Yeah, Carolina. Then there's Texas, and I think it's something like Louisiana slash Alabama, like deep south.
Yeah, yeah.
And then shit, is it Kentucky? That swears by their barbecue. It's very. It's its own. We'll ask Pac when
Fox.
he shows up.
We'll have to ask Fox when he shows up. Hopefully, he shows up tonight.
But yeah. Oh, and if I'm not mistaken, rarely gets anything beyond the tail end of hurricanes, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's seldom. I mean, even like New York can get hurricanes, but by the time they get up to New York, they petered out, so to speak.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they get hurricanes the same way that Florida does. No, not at all.
Guess what I just found out?
What's that?
I have a pseudo distant relation. It's like a second cousin once removed
Okay.
who lives in Texas.
Oh yeah.
I might be able to get legit family sponsorship into the US.
If they're like a second cousin, you can marry them.
It's a dude who's 65, 68, something like that.
What does that have to do with
So
me? You're gay. You're getting married. And you're gay.
I don't have to do the marriage thing because we're legit family, blood
Oh,
relatives, and he can sponsor
there you go.
me. Plus, I don't think his wife would take too kindly to me marrying.
Um, what about? But hold on. Don't you have to be like immediate family for that though? If you're
I'm
cousin,
not. I don't think so
oh no,
because there's legal ramifications. They take on this thing, right? Like
true, true.
so. Yeah,
Like in Canada, I
that
understand they'll let anybody who has the tiniest drop of your blood in him, because that's all of India and Pakistan. So, but in the United States, I thought it was a little bit more like it's got to be immediate family, like grandmother, grandfather, brother, sister, uh, you know, wife, obviously, husband,
right. I
oh,
do
excuse me,
want to
son,
take a
daughter.
moment though.
Was that?
I do want to take a moment and applaud you on that well veiled but blatant incest joke. That was fantastic.
Hey, man, Wincest. They call it Wincest. What do we got? We got a comment from CMAC. Just go make an anchor baby. There you go. Go make an anchor baby. CMAC, you change your picture. I like it. Um, yeah, go down there, knock some chick up, some local chick, and then you got to stay.
But I may not have to. Like,
No, it's true.
yeah.
Well, that's good news. Now, will you finally stop talking about it and just go and do it already? Sure, you could get a
Well,
warehouse job somewhere in Texas.
oh yeah, right. Like it's plenty. There's plenty of Texas down there. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's almost. Is it more people in Texas than there is in Canada?
Oh yeah.
I'm sure I can find a fucking.
Well, pretty close anyway. Like it's in the 20 millions if it's not in the 30 millions.
I
But
swear to God,
apparently
it's four.
apparently Houston's like a real shithole now. It's like really going downhill.
The big metropolis type liberal Democrat cities, yes, are fucking terrible. But like, I'd go eventually to West Texas if I have to actually like. If I first off, I haven't reached out to this cousin that I don't even really know, right? But yeah, like get some contact information. Hey, I'm you know, your niece's something's whatever. Like, yeah, can I live in your house? Because I don't know exactly how this works now, right? Like, yeah, was it Glen Rio? Is that Texas?
Could be.
But yes, I'm also under the impression that he does live in one of the big
Metropolises?
cities, and not San Antonio. It's the one city that my family didn't mention tonight. Uh, Houston, Dallas, Austin. I don't know any other places in Texas.
Well, you said West Texas. El Paso's a city in
That,
West Texas.
that's where I would eventually go. I'd go live anywhere if I have to live with them and like you know be sponsored and be whatever under supervision, however that fucking works. And then once I'm cool, green card, fucking citizenship, whatever it is,
Yeah.
uh, yeah, I would, yeah, then make my way out to West Texas.
Well, you know what? I am going to share something about a beautiful little town in West Texas called El Paso. If you'll bear with me for a moment.
Yeah, El Paso's a proper border town, isn't it?
I think so. I think so.
Out in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl.
Steve Martin.
Nighttime would find me in Rose's Cantina. Music would play and Felina whirl. Blacker than night were the eyes of Felina, wicked and evil while casting a spell.
Have you ever heard this song?
My love was deep for this Mexican maiden. I was in love, but in vain I could tell.
I'm still just feeling real bad for that pony.
Night wild,
Grown man just never riding that pony.
wild as the West Texas wind. Dashing and daring, a drink he was sharing with wicked Felina, the girl that I love. So in anger, I challenged his right for the love of this maiden.
We're gonna get struck for the music, you know.
No, we'll be fine. Nobody's watching.
My challenge was answered in
The
less than
algorithm
a
broke.
heartbeat.
The
And some
algorithm
young
broke.
stranger lay dead on the floor.
Fucking monkeys, man.
Just for a moment I stood.
I saw this like probably when I was a kid, and it stuck with me. I've always been a big fan of Steve Martin. I don't know about you, but he was quite a funny guy back in the day.
It's a different kind of comedy, different.
This
Yeah.
definitely is. This is like absurd comedy, but
Yeah,
all of his stuff, and he's always been very absurd with a lot of his stand-up and a lot of his like movies and stuff. But I've always really enjoyed his comedy. Not in the same way I enjoy like Norm Macdonald, but you know.
yeah.
But there in silence, shocked by the foul evil deed I had done. Many thoughts raced through my mind as I stood there. I had but one chance, and that was to run. Out through the back door of Roses I ran, out where the horses were tied.
No, Marty Robbins, man. Just a fucking elephant.
I caught a good one, it looked like it could run. Up on its back and away I did ride, just as fast as I could from the West Texas town of El Paso, out to the badlands of New Mexico. Back in El Paso, my life would be worthless. Everything's gone in life, nothing is
They got
left.
the insurance for the
Okay.
elephant.
Orangutan. That's awesome. All right, I just wanted to share that because when you said West Texas, all I could think of was the song by Marty Robbins, West Texas town of El Paso. We got a few more comments from the lovely C-Mac. She says, I hear Glen Rio is nice this time of year. There you go. LOL. It's a ghost town in Texas. It's actually super cool, though. Dumas, I do not recommend. 1 star. I don't know what Dumas is. Dumas is probably, but some other town in Texas, I guess.
Yeah, and she says Amarillo is my favorite, followed by Bells.
Amarillo? Bells, Texas?
I guess, yeah.
There you go. I don't know much about Texas. I know the big cities of Austin, Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, and of course Odessa. But the other ones I'm not familiar with really.
Well, San
Antonio, El Paso. Okay, yeah, I know those ones. Yeah, but no, apparently, Texas has its problems in terms of crime, especially in the big cities. I was talking to a girl tonight at Melina's table who is from North Carolina, and she left because, well, she sounds like she's a Democrat, and she doesn't like that it's more Republican leaning in that state. But who knows? So what do we do? Sorry?
I was telling my family, yeah, no, I don't need another Canadian winter if I get a chance to go to Texas. And they're like, oh, we got a cousin down. I was like, no fucking way, let's fucking do it. And they're like, why Texas though? Well, because I'll never have another Canadian winter. They're like, oh yeah, well, what else? Freedom and guns. They're like, oh, like they didn't even bat an eye. They're like, yeah, that makes sense.
There you go. Hey, and you know what else about North Carolina? I just found out Ben Folds is from North Carolina.
that is a negative for me.
Well, I like Ben Folds, though. I love the guy. Okay, let's move on to our regular topics. Do you even lift, bro? How has your fitness journey been this week, Mr. Twin? Have you been back to
Friggin'
the gym at
broke.
all?
I've not. I've been so just fucking making excuse after excuse and not doing it. It's terrible.
I've
And
I've
that's
not.
why.
I myself have not been going as much as I'd like, and I've been making the excuse that it's because I'm sick. I feel weak. I don't feel like I have enough energy to do a solid workout. So I've been avoiding going, right? Which is, again, it's an excuse. Now, today, I signed up for 3 more sessions with Chevy. Today, I did lower body with Chevy, and the man almost killed me. Like, I
Good.
forgot how hard he pushes me when I go and do training sessions with him. Like, I go walking down the stairs, I feel like my legs are going to give out from under me. They almost did walking over to the little, the sanitation wipe place.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, I got to wipe that piece of equipment down. I go to grab it. I go to walk over there and grab it. And my legs are like buckling. My knees are buckling from the workout he gave me. I'm like, fuck. So, yeah, a good workout today. I had a good workout on Wednesday as well. We did upper body that day. I did inclined bench press. Inclined bench press, 65 pounds is what I can do on the inclined bench press. Yeah, I think that's all right.
Good for you.
For a regular bench press, I'm still at 125. So, though you wouldn't look at my chest, you wouldn't know what to look at my chest. My chest looks all flabby and shit. So, but that's okay.
No, that's awesome. You know why? Because you're like a hair from catching me at my over 40 record. So
yeah. Well, I'll get there.
Yeah.
I've got another session with him this coming Thursday. So I think I'll go there tomorrow and do some upper body, and then on Tuesday do some lower body, and then on Thursday I'll do another upper body with him. And if I get to Chesapeake and checked into the hotel in a decent amount of time on the Friday, I get in the early evening, then I'll probably do another workout in the hotel gym because it's there, right? May as well. But yeah, that's my fitness journey. I got to get back into it. My diet's been shit. I have not been following a decent diet. I had committed, like, I'm okay. Month of November, I'm eating nothing but tuna and eggs. That's it the entire time. Of course, did I follow that? Of course not. I ate like shit. I was snacking on stuff I shouldn't have been snacking on. I was doing all sorts of terrible things. But I got to get back into this. I really do. I still want that Captain America physique, or close to it anyway. You know what I mean? I think I can accomplish it.
Abs are in the kitchen.
That's what they say. That's what they say. Let us check real quick. I want to see something here. Let me go to X. I want to see the broadcast on X and see how we're doing there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we're a little bit behind, but we're back to Do You Even Lift, bro. There you go. We're right on time. Good job. What about gaming? Have you done any gaming lately?
Nothing new.
No. Playing more Civilization.
Like, honestly, I've been playing a little SimCity every now
and
then. Yeah. SimCity. Yeah. But I love time for games.
Same. I've been concentrating so much on
it's not like I go to the gym and
I mean, I try and make time for game stuff when I'm working. You know, like I'll sit at my desk and I'll like cut up miniatures off their sprues and try and put them together and stuff like that. But also I'll just get an idea in my head. Hey, I want to make a new RPG, and I'll start typing out notes at work. That's when I get to work on game stuff.
That's lucky.
Well, it's having a desk job, right? That's the thing.
And now I'm looking at you already switched banners, but I'm looking at a new potential employment opportunity, and one of the employee benefits is first class fitness center on site,
That's nice.
right? So there is no more excuses, right? You finish work and you go straight to the gym on site.
Why not? Or get in
Yeah,
early and go before work.
sure, but you can't say, "Oh, I don't have time." Of course I do.
Right.
It's not going to drive somewhere else in between work and home, right? It's
Yep.
right there.
It's true. It's
Yeah.
true. All right, let's talk about the main topic for tonight. We're only 20 minutes in and we're already moving on to the main topic of the night.
Actually, hold that thought. Well, get it started. I can hear you, but I need to do something. Pardon me.
All right. So Irving's got to go pinch a loaf. That's fine. So if you haven't been living under a rock, Elon Musk is in the news again because of his expletive proclamation on a news panel conference somewhere. I can't remember what it was called, but basically, New York Times was running this conference. I don't know what it was. All about you know people in the media and the media industry from entertainment all the way to news. And this Sorkin guy was doing the interview, and he was trying to basically give Musk an opportunity to apologize, I guess, for comments that were proliferated on his site X that had to do with anti-Semitism or something that he had said that was anti-Semitic in nature. And of course, this prompted a bunch of like companies to say they're no longer going to advertise on X. They're basically trying to undercut X, trying to destroy X because they don't like that Musk is anti DEI, right? So in this interview, of course, Elon Musk basically said, you know what? I hope they don't advertise. I hope they don't. Let them stop. She's like, you don't want them to advertise? He's like, no. You're gonna blackmail me with money, blackmail me with advertising? Go fuck yourself. And he said it like 3 more times. He also went on to say, and this is the part that doesn't get spread around a lot. He went on to say, um, I am so sick of people who claim to be good and then do evil. So they get up there and make a big noise about how they're doing all these good things. But in reality, in the background, you know what they're doing is evil. You can see the evil shit they do.
Mm-hmm.
And then he also went on to toot his own horn, saying, I've probably done more for the environment than any other person alive with the success of Tesla, right? Just in terms of, like, he's talking about getting internal combustion engine cars off the road. I don't know if I agree with him, but it's like that's his point, right? Because of me, electric cars are now mainstream, and we've sold millions of them. And that every car that we've sold has taken an internal combustion engine car off the road. So
Boy
that's
and
his
slat.
argument. What's that?
Boy and slat.
Yeah, Boy and Slat.
Yeah.
Who's that?
They see exactly, man. Everybody knows Greta Thunberg's name. Nobody knows Boy and Slat.
Or Bjorn Lomberg?
Who runs
Who
the
runs the
media?
media?
Hello.
Hello.
Boy and Slat did
all,
this like
all those rocks are
all
super.
those rockets. They're super eco-friendly. It's clean burning fuel. It's vegetable oil, vegetable diesel. No, Boy and Slat did this high school project,
Uh-huh.
basically proving
Yeah.
that this solar-powered boat on a small scale
Yeah.
could go out and collect plastic in large pools of water. He got some funding and has
Yeah.
made a size thing that is actually succeeding, and he's getting no
Recognition.
no media coverage. He's not getting a lot of money. You know what I mean? Where basically, if he could build 40 or 50 of these, that giant island of plastic in the middle of the Pacific Ocean,
Yeah.
he could clean it up in months.
Good for him, man.
But no one knows who the fuck he is.
No. But the thing is, when I'll say this to guys like Elon Musk and this Boy and Slat, while it's lamentable that he's not being recognized for his efforts and his success, when you go out to try and save the world or solve a global problem like that, my guess is you're not doing it to gain accolades. You're doing it because you genuinely want to help solve that problem. So
This kid just wanted to win the science fair, and then he realized this could actually do some good. And like, considering how little we know about him, how little funding he's getting, he's still doing it, which means he must be fucking struggling. He can't have communism to clean the ocean.
it's true.
And from what I understand, the boat that he's built is made like almost every part that can be is made from recycled plastic.
Well, why not? Like we got that's the thing. We got so much plastic for recycling, for the purposes of recycling, that there's no reason why we would make anything out of virgin plastic, like petroleum derived plastics, when we could just use recycled stuff. There's a couple of guys called, I think they're called the Brothers Make. And here's what these dudes do. They'll collect plastic bottles, the caps from plastic bottles, like soda bottles, right? And then they'll put them on a Foreman sandwich grill with like silicone mats on each side, and
Yeah.
they will melt these things down and turn them into planks of plastic, and then make shit out of them. So I'm like, that's what we should be doing. Like the idea that we're going to take the plastic bottle that was my soda was in, put it into a blue bin. That blue bin then gets picked up by a diesel fucking truck with a bunch of other blue bins every week, mind you, and driven around eventually to a resource center where they're supposed to sort it and recycle it down to like tiny little chunks of plastic so that it can be reused. When in reality, less than 20% of the plastic that gets collected and driven to these resource centers actually gets recycled. Most of it ends up in a landfill. So that patch of plastic floating in the ocean, it's going to be a never-ending resource for plastic. It's going to constantly be there. You could try and eliminate it, but eventually you're going to find more plastic, and it'll probably be in the same spot too because of the Gulf Stream and all that, right? You'll probably find another island of plastic in 10 years that's roughly the same size. Especially as places like India and China
India and China just
become
keep
more and
dumping more
more
plastic.
affluent, become more wealthy, and their citizens can afford disposable packaging, right? So yeah, it is what it is. Freedom caps. To be fair, this kid sounds like a nerd. I would have thrown a million plastic straws in the ocean to get laid in high school. uh, freedom caps. That's right, freedom caps. That's magic landfill to you, mister. It's magic landfill. And I mean, and think about the landfill, right? If all this plastic ends up in the landfill, what's going to happen? 1,000 years from now, there's going to be a layer in the fossil record of just this line of plastic. And everyone's like, "Oh, what's that? That's the 21st century plastic layer." It's like 30 years or 1,000 years of plastic being just deposited on the same layer.
Look,
Like
I know what to
you know
do.
what they're gonna find? They're gonna find that they can actually use it for fuel. They're gonna like, oh, it's actually a clean fuel now. You can just fucking all you have to do is melt it down and put it in your gas tank, and it burns clean because whatever geologic processes happened to the plastic over the 1,000 years actually got rid of a lot of the terrible toxic shit that's in it, and it becomes a clean, malleable resource. Can you imagine that? You don't even have to turn it into liquid because it'll be all like gooey. You get a plastic, you buy a plastic ball, right? You shove it in whatever plastic engine you have in your car, and that plastic ball gradually just gets smaller and smaller until it's gone, and that lasts you like 6 months. That's what they're gonna
I'd
find.
like I'd like to think by that time in the future we're using miniature nuclear breeder reactors.
To power our
But
cars,
yeah,
fusion reactor kind of thing.
no, it could be just incredibly tiny fission. Yeah, but no, look, okay. Here's how we solve the landfill problem. Elon Musk is already doing it. I just don't think he's publicized it because I'm sure he's got this idea in his head.
What's he doing?
The rock. I always thought this, but then I realized, yeah, like firing the rockets to launch the shuttle filled with our garbage, right? The shuttle can land, but those rockets, we're dropping them into the ocean. That doesn't
Yeah,
do any good. Once he can get the rocket to go up, actually just to the tip of our, like, to be able to orbit Earth,
yeah.
Just open the doors towards the sun, and the garbage just falls into the sun over the next what couple hundred years, I guess, depending on the speed it's falling. Right?
Well, probably long. It depends on how long it's going to take to. It has to orbit the sun and then eventually shrink into it, right? So
Sure,
my guess is
right, but
what'll end up happening is it'll be in orbit around Earth more than it'll be in orbit around the sun.
no. You got to get you fling it at the sun,
Oh, I
right?
see.
So that it's just falling directly towards the sun now, right? And then you can land the rocket and fill it up again.
Why not? Here's a better plan. Instead of trying to fling it towards the sun, why not just uh, release it into the atmosphere and let it all fall down on the ground, and it just gets incinerated from the heat? Like that, doesn't that make more sense?
Because I don't know if that particulate matter stays in the atmosphere.
How it
Right,
gets,
my way.
but the atmosphere, when it goes through the atmosphere, it burns so hot that it basically incinerates everything except ceramics. So, like, why not? Why not just do that to the plastics?
Counter.
Counterintuitively, it's actually incredibly difficult to launch things into the sun. It's the
I don't
biggest
think
thing in
I
our
don't think
solar system. How hard can it be? Well, there's like two other planets that are orbiting around, or two, yeah, two other planets orbiting around the sun closer than we are. So anything we fling towards the sun always has there's always the chance it's going to get sucked up in one of their orbits, and then it becomes like a ring of plastic in there. Venus gets rings.
but they're completely uninhabited, so it doesn't even matter.
No, it's true, but it would look shitty when we look at Venus at night because it's one of the brightest things in the sun, in the sky at night, and we see
And we
this
float
ring. We see, oh
that
my
is
god, Venus has a ring now. Yeah, but the ring's made of fucking garbage. The ring's made of
ice
man-made
garbage.
garbage.
That's
I
fine.
just think people should do what the make Venus a trash planet. Yeah, you know what? Why not? It would all immediately just get crushed down on it. Uh, my thought is people should be getting rid of their bulk plastic waste at the consumer level. Fact is, when you buy something in a plastic bottle, you are paying for that plastic bottle.
Hmm.
Now, used to be everything was in glass, and you'd return the glass bottle and you get a bit of money back. But the idea that, and I'm cheap because that's where this comes from. Idea that we take the money that we spend on the packaging, we throw it into a blue bin, and then somebody else makes money off of that shit. It kind of irks me. I had an idea for a device, like an appliance in your house, right? And now with AI and the AI imaging that we have now, it's probably even easier. So you get this appliance in your house. Let's say it's about half the size of a fridge. So it's about it's about
Scope up.
about as wide and as tall as a fridge, but maybe half as thick. Okay. You
Okay.
put this thing in your garage. It's got a big open hole in the top, and anything you put in that hole, depending on the model you get, because they'll have different models. Anything you put in that hole automatically gets sorted into the proper channel, and it gets immediately pulverized or ground or whatever it does to make it into a, a, a block or a bag full of material that can then be used by manufacturers who work with recycled plastics, recycled glass, recycled aluminum, that kind of stuff. So it would have different grinders, the camera and the sensors and everything. Will go, oh, that's clearly PTE. Okay, so there's a PLA or whatever cap on it. We need to shear that off. So that plastic cap gets sheared off, goes into another container. And it's okay, now the PTE, throw it in this container, and as it goes in, it's getting ground down into tiny, tiny components. That was my
So
thought. And then, so after you buy this appliance or it gets installed in your house, government could probably make you install one. Uh, and then after the thing gets full, you take that bag or box or package, whatever it put it in there, and you drive it down to your resource center and say, "Hey, I got 4.5 kilograms of PTE plastic I'd like to sell." And they're like, "Okay, 4.5 kilograms, that'll be 29 cents or $1.46 or whatever it is, right?" So
so you
that's
know
my
how
that's my thought.
they're already kind of doing this.
Where?
Like this. Hold on, because it's a little bit roundabout, but like I said, kind of doing this. You know how, like in 1940, basically nobody had a refrigerator,
Yeah.
and by 1960, every home was sold with a refrigerator installed.
Right.
Some people speculate this will be true within about 20 years of 3D printers.
I could see that.
But here's the catch: everything is sold in graphene containers,
Yeah, or
and every 3D
PTE or
printer.
PLA or whatever. Yeah.
And then what you're doing is you just take your graphene waste container,
Yeah.
throw it into your 3D printer. It can break it back down and through 3D
Turn it
print
into a
whatever you
filament.
want. And if you have excess, you do like you did with the glass bottles. You break it down into blocks and return the blocks for a refund, and somebody else will make new containers. Because yeah, if this 3D printing thing, because like if the dishes are dirty, just throw them in the graphene in the 3D printer, and it'll reprint new dishes that are clean.
It's it makes a lot of sense as opposed to keeping a cupboard full of plates. Like the wife and I are two people. We always have 12 giant plates, like our big plate dinner plates in the cupboard.
Yeah,
We never entertain 12 people. Like why don't we just have two plates? We could save so much space if we just had two plates, two knives, two forks, two spoons, and then we just wash them and we use them.
then what
Uh
do you do with the cabinets?
sorry?
Then what do you put in the cabinet?
Other shit. I don't know. Fucking craft
Or
foam for my cosplay. I have no idea.
fewer cabinets, more open space,
There
right?
you go.
Like your home would be bigger.
I could have
Uh,
another window. I could lose half my cabinets and get
sure.
another window.
But you need a 3D printer printing reliable stuff for
Yeah,
whenever you have guests, right? Need to be able to print 12 plates right away
sure.
on your right, which would not be a problem.
Right.
But that's yeah, and there's a few people that have been speculating every new home in 20 years will have a graphene 3D printer in it
Probably.
installed next to the fridge and the stove.
Alternate poly meritocratic aristocracy with unlimited resources. Paper straws for the inferior people. Sorry, you're too stupid. Here's a bag of dicks and some paper straws to drink. Drink it. Me, 2045. There you go, cheesy. Apparently I'm evil because I'm wearing a tie. Yes, I'm wearing a tie. Uh, speaking of 3D printers, I just ordered a new 3D printer.
A new 3D printer, as
I
in you
ordered,
have
I ordered a large format 3D printer. It's $1,000, but I ordered a large format 3D printer that'll print objects 1 foot by 1 foot by 1 foot. So that means I can make airsoft guns. I can make Canada Man helmet. That's actually what I bought it for. I was like, I'm gonna make a Canada Man helmet so it looks better than the spandex mask I have, right? Anyway, yeah. So I picked it up. I got my bonus, right? And I'm like, I got any bonus. I always just put it away. I'm like, no, I'm gonna fucking treat myself. I want another FDM printer because I have an FDM printer. FDM is the spools of material, spools of filament. Um, I have an FDM printer, but it's a small build base and it's not that great. And I bought it probably, I want to say 8 or 9 years ago. It's not that good anymore. There's much, much better ones out there. So I spent the money and I bought myself a large format 3D printer.
nice.
I, I want one of those Star Trek things that makes whatever food you ask it for. Yeah, the what do you call it? The replicator. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's essentially what 3D printers are, but it's not for food. Mind you, they do have 3D printers that will print in food. That's true. Massive butt plugs getting printed at the brag house tonight. Yep, and those dragon fucking dildos, the ones that are shaped like a mythological creature dick. Bunch of those.
Fuck. But hold on. See, if your 3D printer could print that Canada Man helmet in graphene,
Yep,
it would actually make semi-effective armor against like hand-to-hand blows and, of course, airsoft guns.
true.
The airsoft gun
They
sounds off.
they do just about every type of plastic filament that you can get for an FDM printer. They make what do you call it? A graphene or graphite uh, embedded version of that plastic. So you can get sort of what do you call it? carbon nanotubes. Sorry, it's like you get carbon nanotubes in your 3D print. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's pretty
But
neat.
now, I don't have enough like education or qualification to get in trouble for giving people financial advice if I'm wrong.
Yeah.
Also, I don't have enough education or qualification for anyone to follow my financial advice.
Okay.
So I feel comfortable giving it. Look into 3D printer companies
Yeah.
and graphene production companies
Yeah.
and find ones that you think would be solid investments over 20 years.
Yeah. It's
Right.
probably not a
And
bad idea.
put some money down in there because if you put $800 into what was it like Apple or Microsoft in 1982,
Right.
you're
Yeah.
billionaire now.
I'll show you the 3D printer I got. I'll share it with you guys. Creality.
There's a company while you're looking it up. That claims so getting graphene quality carbon from graphite,
Yeah.
it's only about a 5% return from the graphite. There's a company that claims they can scrub carbon dioxide from the fucking air
Yeah.
and get the reverse 95% usable carbon for graphene.
It's pretty amazing.
Imagine
Ian
throwing.
Crossland. I know Ian Crossland's a huge fan over there on.
Yeah, but I've been doing this for years. Okay, this is a thing I've been going on for like 6 or 7 years now. So he's late to the table here. I've been touting this.
All right, here we are. Love our
Where the
store. Never miss out on it.
show and give us no credit, eh?
There we are. So this is it here. This is the Creality K1 Max AI Fast 3D printer. I bought it for less than this. I bought it while it was on sale. I bought it for about I think it was $949, so it was a full $300 cheaper.
You know what? They're doing a good job of stylizing these fucking things because that's why people didn't like them. They looked fucking gross.
Well,
this is a
it's
sexy
true.
machine.
Yeah, it's pretty looking, eh? Not only that, it's this thing is they've changed the way they work now in terms of how they like originally 3D printers, you bought them as a kit, you put them together, you program them, you connected your motherboard, all that kind of stuff, and then you had to fine tune them, right? Well, all that stuff's been sorted out with this one. This one basically you plug it in, you run the diagnostic and setup, takes about 6-7 minutes, and then you're ready to print, and that's it.
Yeah.
You don't have to bed level. It bed levels on its own. It taps the bed using a little sensor like 128 times to get the exact bed level. It's got AI LiDAR. So basically it will print a layer or like 2 or 3 layers as it's printing. And it has like a little laser scanner to check to make sure that first 2 layers are, flat and clean and that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So this is it. This is my Creality K1 Max 3D printer. I didn't buy the combo.
And you know what's crazy is that a machine similar to this 5 years ago would have been like $5,000.
Yeah, exactly.
And it wouldn't have been near as good. It would have just been as big, able to print things as big. And that like the price is coming down on these things. The technology is improving. Just that alone makes them solid investments. You just got to find the right companies and diversify. This is not bad advice. Okay.
No. It's a new technology. You're wise to get in on new technologies when they emerge, right? Because not everyone. I mean, like if someone said, "Hey, I got a machine that turns icebergs into ice cubes," oh, that's a great piece of technology, but it's not going to be a good investment. Something that you can see is truly revolutionary, like the internet, like 3D printers, like the fax machine, like these are things that you go, huh, it's a good idea. I'm going to invest in it, right? Anyway, AI camera keeps a keen watch. Yeah, so basically it will detect if printing has failed and it'll pause it and send you a notification on your phone. And then you can come and inspect it. You see it's not actually failing. It picked up something. You're like, oh, no, keep printing,
The key to this as a technology for every home is going to be being able to reclaim your materials, right? So like you have this spool of whatever. No. You got to be able to smash plates made of whatever, probably graphene. Throw them in the back, and it'll grind it up and like create a spool out of it.
Uncle Jeezy.
Sometimes I can't tell if this guy loves us or hates us. Like, come on, Jeezy.
It's playful ribbon. It's all. Cool toy. Yeah, it is a toy. When it comes right down to it, it's a toy. But they are useful. You know, you can print useful things out of them. But eventually you run out. You have enough phone holders. You know what I mean? Like, and
No, but
tablet
imagine that you could print steak knives.
Yeah.
Now they'd probably be black, but they'd also be perfectly precise, super sharp, and you don't have to sharpen them. You throw them in the back.
Yeah, right? when it's no longer cutting your bread, you say, "Ah, fuck it, break it, put it in the container, and then boom." Hey, you know, combine it with my invention, right? So you print your steak knife out of plastic. You can do it just out of ABS plastic if you wanted to, because ABS is strong enough to cut stuff if the edge is fine enough for at least a couple of cuts. You know what I mean? Like, it's durable stuff. It's the stuff Lego's made out of. So you make a steak knife. You're done with it. What's that? Sorry?
And that shit is sharp. You ever step on a Lego? Holy shit!
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, then you're done with it. You throw it in my little invention. It detects, oh, this is carbon fiber PLA filament or ABS filament. I will now grind this down into like just a little, almost dust. And then you take that dust and you put it into your filament maker, and it makes your filament for you.
No, see,
you think it's going to be all one
You
machine.
Throw them in the back, and it just starts Rube Goldberging whatever it has to do, and you tell it print plates out of knives, and it just grinds it down, and like the whole process, it's one long machine that just spits out plates now. That's what's going to make it absolutely super valuable to a real household, right? Yeah. Like I remember I was 20, living on my own. I had family gave me a whole bunch of like new plates. I had these new plate sets, right? And so the old plates were shit. Like I hated them so much. And for the next 7 meals, 8 meals, however many plates I had, I just was thinking, when the dishes are dirty, just throw them away, throw them away. And that like, it actually is a real thing now.
Yeah.
That at 20 years old, I stupidly memed it into existence. It took 20 plus years, and it's going to take another 20 for this to be in every home.
Right.
But meme magic is real, and I memed it 20 years ago, and that ritual has been carrying on for the 20, and it will go to 40, and then everyone will just throw away the dirty dishes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everything will be, well, I mean, the thing is, if you can take something, if everything that you created for use, and I'm not talking about food, but I'm talking about actual items, everything you created could be recycled to 98% of its original material, then yeah, there would be no reason to keep anything, because you just make another one. The only thing you want to keep is stuff that you created of something of a creative endeavor on your own. Like you paint a picture, that's you made that, yourself. Sure. Keep that. But like things like utility stuff, like plates, screwdrivers, whatever, right?
Yeah. Yeah, all of that stuff that eventually wears out, right? You could just reprint it by reclaiming the thing that's already worn out.
Right.
And
news from 60, an update. Yeah. I'm on chapter 10 of my 3rd revision. That's great. Good for you, man.
And I'm getting around to it. I'm sorry. I've been really busy, Six. And also, like, when I'm not busy, I'm drinking myself into oblivion because I'm mad. So I'm very sorry. I will, because you know what? I deserve some joy in my life, and I should read.
Yeah, reading's good for you.
Because I'm sure it will bring me much joy. So it's actually, like, hurting me more than anything.
Someone already made dishes that you dissolve and reformed instead of washing. It happened years ago. Oh, I wonder what that's all about.
Paper plates. You just dissolve them and remake paper plates out of them, right? But
yeah.
But this is sturdier, right? And you can make different cuts and styles, and you
Yeah.
know. But
No,
yeah,
I like 3D printing. I like, especially when it works, and that's the thing. I'm looking forward to this one because I'm not a tinkerer. I don't want to be messing around with stuff to get it to work. I just want it to work. So
you
much
want
so
the
that,
Logitech 3D printers.
what's that? Sorry.
You want the Logitech 3D printer. You plug it in and it does what it's supposed to.
Right. And that's the thing. They're getting there. They're getting there.
Yeah,
You still
yeah.
need to get your files, that sort of stuff. But we got another comment. It was some kind of plastic. That's
Oh,
interesting.
really? Huh.
So when you go to wash them, you just throw them in water, and then you take the goo that is in the water and you put it through a press with a mold. Like, that's really weird.
Pour it into a silicone mold or something. Yeah,
Yeah. I acknowledge
yeah.
the existence of the next 6 minutes. That's nice, Costin. Good for you. Sorry, folks. I'm a little loopy tonight because I took an edible right before we started broadcasting. So I hope you'll bear with me. If I get really grinny, like I just can't fucking stop smiling, that's the reason.
And I started drinking, so this show's going to be a mess.
No, we're almost an hour through and nobody's died yet, so we're good.
Oh, nice.
Nobody's dropped an F slur or the N word. Fox isn't in yet, so he hasn't said N word F slur yet. All right, let's see. We're still on Go Fuck Yourself. What were we talking about?
This guy's a fucking champ, like Elon Musk. And then I threw in Boy and Flat, and now we got way off topic. I do to you. I just did to you what you do to.
I know.
What you do to me. I just robbed your street, hijacked it, took it on the left. No, but yeah, Elon Musk, like the way he turned to face everybody and go
fuck yourself.
Like chin up, go fuck yourself.
You ever notice when he turns his head and talks, sometimes he looks like a Muppet?
Okay, you see Muppet, but I see like the predatory bird.
Okay.
Like you see, like
yeah, where they
yeah. That it there's a sharpness to the movement, right? And it's really like defiant.
Yeah, he's not expressive in how he moves. He moves his head to get to the position where he wants to say something. It's not like he's, you know what I mean? Like when you turn your head when someone says something to you that they say something you don't want to hear, and then you turn your head and go, "Fuck." He doesn't do that. His head motion is just a means to an end. He's like,
it's reptile
where I can speak.
It's reptile brain stuff, bird brain stuff, right? That he doesn't. Obviously, this man is on the spectrum.
Okay? Apparently suffers from Asperger's, yeah.
But he's so intelligent that he basically doesn't give a shit about the awkwardness. So all the reptile brain stuff and that's not like an insult. Reptile brain, bird brain.
Yeah.
We all have this. If you look at all the animals' brains, going higher up the chain of animals, we have another layer around all of these parts of our brain.
Yeah.
He just lets his reptile brain, his bird brain, control his movements. He doesn't care. Yeah. Right? Sometimes we'll actually consciously make ourselves smaller or put our heads in a certain position to defer and show like I'm not trying to be aggressive.
Yeah.
He just let the fucking bird brain go off.
Yeah,
like
it's like
I will fucking peck and murder all of you. Like I don't give a shit.
You don't know how. It's like you don't know how to read him, right? He's impossible to read because he's like.
No, see, being on the spectrum myself, I can read him. I know exactly what.
For the average person in any negotiating situation, somebody who's in a business and they're talking to him, and it's a like a true exchange. It's not just banter, right? It'd be very difficult to negotiate because or navigate that conversation because you can't draw the cues from the face. You have to listen to his words, and because you know a little bit about sarcasm, you have to wonder: was that a sarcastic inflection, or is he being completely genuine? He's tough to read in that sense.
This might be an oddity,
Yeah, let's put it on Irving's Oddities. There we go.
I know how to read this, and I know what's happening because it's schizos versus psychopaths and autists versus narcissists, right?
There you go.
Schizos and autists versus psychopaths and narcissists. And the psychopaths and narcissists are playing a game, and the game has rules, and they know how to manipulate the rules and bend the edges to fuck with normies.
Yeah.
But schizos and autists do not follow those rules.
No, they'll do
And
whatever the hell they want.
this man is on the spectrum, and when his bird brain happens, you're right, they don't know how to read it because it's not part of the game.
Right.
It's outside the game, and
Yep.
so it doesn't fit what they think is the world. But it's actually, you know that term, too pure for this world.
Yeah.
That's true of autists and schizos.
You know, I think about that, and I think a little bit about the God Emperor himself, Donald J. Trump. Now, for him, it's specific to the realm in which he entered. Right? He was a guy who was on the sidelines of politics for years because he was a wealthy donor to a lot of political figures, right? And they were courting him for influence and courting him for, you know, to achieve a little bit of power, that kind of stuff. But he was never actually in the game, but he knew how the game worked.
Yeah.
And he had
Yeah.
no intention of following it. And so he's like, all right, I'm going in. I'm gonna break all the fucking toys, and you can't stop me because I'm the highest seat in the fucking in the government. So, yeah.
And I suspect Donald Trump may be like a hair or two on the spectrum.
Oh, probably. I wouldn't doubt it.
That's right. He's normy enough to know the rules of the game.
Yeah.
But the edge he has is knowing that these guys don't know what to do with this outside thought, this rule breaking thing.
Yeah,
and
they can't innovate.
He knows how to throw them for a loop.
That's the problem because government is such a albatross, right? And it's constructed in such a way to make it unnavigable by your average person. And it's been built and maintained by career bureaucrats who have no ingenuity in them at all. You can't have an environment like that is going to breed inventiveness or ingenuity. So when someone comes along and they're like, you know what, I've got an idea that's completely 180 degrees away from what you're thinking, they can't comprehend. They don't know, how can you make that work? We've always done it this way. And he's like, this is how we're doing it. It's changing it completely. And go fuck yourself if you don't like it. And I guarantee you that's the conversation that Musk had when he walked into Twitter and said, yeah, this is changing. We're not going to do it the way we've been doing it. If you don't like it, there's the fucking door.
Yeah.
Okay, we got a few comments here. Next 6 minutes, smile at Costin's comment. And then he says, ADD guy here, game recognizes game. I just kind of get where Elon is coming from. Well, so from a political and cultural standpoint, I do too. I agree completely.
No, behaviorally. I think he means behaviorally. He can sense what's happening, right?
Oh, I see. Yeah.
But that's the thing is, Elon is probably most likely on the spectrum, and yeah, it's an ADD, but it's like the reverse or inside out ADD, where it's like he's right, yeah, but he's like, instead of what does ADD stand for? I can't remember right now.
Attention deficit disorder, and then they changed it to ADHD.
He has
attention deficit hyperactive disorder.
Yeah. But he's got hyper attention disorder.
Yeah.
Right. Like it's like ADD, except he's super in tune to the thing to which he's in tune.
Yeah.
And that means all other things suffer the ADD symptoms.
Yeah.
Because he's talked about how I put, so many cycles of my brain power into Tesla and so many cycles into this project and so many cycles into that, because he's splitting his focus, but purposefully. He means to do it. And he knows exactly what's happening on each of those projects and how much brain power he's putting into them, right? Like, so it's ADD, but with this weird glitch that makes it hyper attention as opposed to attention deficit. Yeah. But all other things, like, say, normal human interactions, go out the fucking window.
Yeah. See, when I
Right?
first saw
So,
it, because he cut off the interviewer, right? And he said, "Go fuck yourself" and all that. When I first saw it, I'm like, he's having a fucking meltdown. He's having a tantrum. But then I've read other things online on social media where people say, no, what he did was brilliant because basically he told them in no uncertain terms that this isn't going to work for you. Now he went on to further say, "There's like, you know what? If people stop advertising, then it kills the company. The company's dead." And he's like, he doesn't like that, but he puts it this way, you know what, if that happens, the company's dead. History will show that a group of corporate CEOs conspire with one another to destroy the only free social media platform uh, available to people. So
okay, this is actually still an oddity. Uh, we talk about the Fortune 500 companies, and oh my God, isn't this all wonderful? But go back to 1900 and look at the list of Fortune 500 companies, and how many of them are still in existence, let alone Fortune 500 companies.
right,
If I'm not mistaken, it's like 10 of them exist.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
Elon
pretty
just
good.
low-key retarded and
Failing up, yeah, failing up into like almost like trillionaire range. Like
yeah.
percentage of trillions is a better way to describe his net worth.
Well, I think he's also saying the audacity of you to try and blackmail me
Yeah.
blackmail me with money. I'm the richest man in the world. If I don't have
No,
your advertising dollars, I'm going to have advertising dollars from someone else, right? So
he's the publicly richest man in the world. That's
sure, yeah.
Rothschilds. But that's another story. I don't want to go in there yet. That's also an oddity.
We can
But
talk about that later. But you know what I mean? Like the idea, money doesn't like you can't scare him by saying we're going to withhold advertising dollars.
yeah, you want to blackmail with money? Do you know who I am? like that was what was happening in that moment. But that thing about the Fortune 500 companies from
Yeah,
1900 to now, and the Fortune 500 companies don't want to advertise. Okay, well they can fuck off and die. Every other little company that isn't scared or is scared and desperate and needs advertising, they can't do $100 million deal. But if you get 10,000 companies that are very small and willing to take a risk of $100,000, suddenly
yeah,
you're looking at the same amount of money.
yeah.
So it doesn't matter. And I suspect we're going to start seeing small companies advertising as much as they can, as often as possible.
Right.
Did you watch Mad Men?
I have not watched Mad Men. I've seen little clips
There's
of
a
it
point
there.
there where they take a side with a presidential candidate, right? The advertising company, and they don't know how to advertise for a presidential candidate, but they know how to advertise. So they buy up all the airtime,
Yeah.
and the opposing candidate can't buy airtime. It's just not there to buy anymore,
Right.
right? You just have to fill the airspace. It doesn't matter how. It doesn't matter if it's a single $100 million deal, $100 million deals, or $10,000 deals.
Well, Daily Wire put out a post on X saying it might have been Ben Shapiro himself saying that what Disney and these other companies are doing is censorship. They're trying to squelch free speech by making it unaffordable to speak freely. Um, he says the Daily Wire is going to buy $250,000 worth of advertising. It's not going to make up for all that stuff, but every little bit helps, and we encourage everybody to advertise on X.
Yeah.
So, like, that's Daily Wire is a big fucking outlet, right? So,
but why wouldn't you? If all that airspace is freed up, and they'll sell it to you probably on the cheap at this point, and you're a small startup or you're around for 10 years and you think you suddenly have a big audience that you can grab.
big companies are not because it's no return on investment. They'd advertise in Mein Kampf if it had sold Frosted anyways. Well, that's just it, right? The fact is, advertising has always been kind of dubious in how it actually generates sales. Of course, you're going to get your name out there, but you have to have a really compelling and memorable ad to get people to come through your door. But
Sure,
Um,
sure, but there was that whole thing about like the bot removal and the
yeah,
actual legit uh, check marks now
yeah,
that you got to pay for your check mark.
yeah,
So the advertisers are getting real views as opposed to bot views because that was part of the problem for
right.
a lot of advertisers. They're spending a lot of money on advertising. Oh,
And
look,
how
we
many
got
people are actually seeing? Yeah,
yeah, 1 million views is 10,000 people because the same people viewed it multiple times and bots covered the other, 900,000.
right,
So you're at least when they say you're going to get this many views and you do, you got real human views.
right. Yeah, in terms of advertising on Twitter being not a good return on investment, that's where I'm saying it's dubious, right? Advertising in general is kind of, you can't really gauge how much of a return on investment. You could say, "Hey, we spent $250,000 on this advertising campaign, and our subscriptions went up during the time period of that advertising campaign, went up by 12%." That results in so much money, but can you equate that solely to the advertising campaign?
Okay, so look, I come from a family of small business.
Yeah,
We started taking out ads in the Toronto Sun.
yeah,
When we'd run a Sunday ad, the Sunday Sun, right? Oh, there's the
yeah,
Sunshine Girl. Oh, look, 2 pages later, 3 pages later, there's our full page ad. That week, we would have a bump in sales. The more often we did it, we would always see a similar bump in sales, but also we started to see a steady rise if we would do 52 ads a week or
yeah,
52 ads a year, right?
yeah,
And we would have people walk into the store, pull out of their pocket this crumpled folded sheet from a year ago.
yeah,
Yeah, I meant to, and I just couldn't, and now I'm here, and I know this thing, and it would be like, you know what? We don't have that model anymore. It's out, it's gone, but I've got something. So on a very small scale, we could see a really real bump,
oh, well, that's just it.
and
Yeah,
because we're a small company doing business,
yeah,
we would try to do business with as many people as possible. And that was what I was getting at with that 500 Fortune 500 companies from 1900.
yeah,
Just like there's only what is it, 1 in 1,000 trees. You look over the Pareto distribution of the forest. All this forest, one giant tree. All that forest, one more giant tree.
yeah.
Those giant trees eventually die, and the other small trees around it get to eat that thing up and start growing. And yeah, if these guys want to pull out of advertising, it's going to be a little bit rough in that area for a while.
Sure.
But as long as it just keeps grinding on, you're going to see hundreds of companies actually see real growth from the advertising here.
I should see how much it costs to run an ad on Twitter.
No, 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 no. You should pay for a check mark and just keep streaming to X
That's not a
because
bad.
every ad on your check mark makes you money.
Is that right?
Yeah. You pay for it, they pay you back as long as people are watching,
Huh, interesting.
right? Yeah.
Yeah, I am tweet. By the way, folks, if you're interested, we are streaming live to both X, YouTube, and as well Twitch, so you can watch us anywhere you want.
What about Odyssey and Rumble? We don't do
I haven't
that.
done them. I haven't done them. Rumble's very tricky to work with StreamYard. Maybe they fixed it in the last time, but yeah, it's kind of tricky to make it so that they when you have it scheduled at 10 o'clock in StreamYard, that it actually starts running in Rumble. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
So, uh, but they have the smartest people and in the world with supercomputers to calculate that. Yeah, but I agree. I'm not going to get into a big argument about it. I think advertising is a good investment. I just my question is, there are those people who are naysayers of advertising because they can't see any quantifiable result in it. Now, I don't know if it's specific to types of businesses or size of businesses, but there's lots of people who hold, who sort of push back against actually advertising, paying for an advertising campaign. That's just what I'm
Okay,
saying.
now look, advertising is valuable. There is direct correlations. It's not an exact science, right? You can't say I'm going to spend $250,000 in advertising and see $1 million in sales based on it, whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't advertise bullshit unless you're ready to run away. Like, you go out and shill your snake oil, you'd better be ready to leave before you get murdered.
Yeah.
Right? You have to be selling something that's actually useful. And then your advertising will work. Investing in advertising for a good product works. Ask Billy Mays, right? Like, shit.
Fucking
He made
slap
his own.
it up. OxyClean.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, you're gonna love my nuts. Yeah, that
Yeah,
guy.
yeah, yeah.
Okay, dude. We were doing some digging around my brother-in-law's his foundation. Like, we were trying to get some plants out. We didn't know the what's that called? Where you have like the garden waters itself because you got the tubes and the sprayers.
Oh, sprinkler system?
Yeah, we didn't know the sprinkler system was under there, and we put a shovel in it. We cut in the hose. We went and got that Billy Mays fucking tape where
Oh,
he's
yeah,
got
yeah.
that giant
Flex tape?
water with the hole in it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Bang! Seals like a fucking charm. That
Oh, yeah.
shit is on fire, buddy.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, that
I
is
don't know how they make
great.
it. I mean, Flex
I,
Seals, obviously, it's like rubber in a can. It's like Plasti Dip, right? But a little bit more concentrated. But Flex
it,
tape,
it,
it's like they decided they're going to put little thin layers of tar in between paper.
it's some sort of high density fucking pseudo rubber tape and
Yeah,
an adhesive to last 1,000 years.
it's
Like,
crazy.
and we cut deep into that fucking hose.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it was almost halfway in there. And the flex tape, we put it on there, fired up the sprinklers, no leak, nothing, not a drop, bone fucking dry.
That's pretty
I
amazing.
was
I've
so
never used it, but that's
yeah.
pretty awesome. Folks,
So
the
that guy
Ammunation
advertised.
43, the Ammunation 43 is brought to you tonight by Flex Tape. For
And
every
it's brought to you by Billy Mays. Rest
Billy
in
Mays.
peace.
That's right. He's no longer with us. That's too bad.
He's there sitting at the right hand of Jesus. He only sold you good things. He brought you good news.
That's right.
Because look, the things he sold you worked.
Yep.
That's why they lasted.
OxyClean.
You know about them because of the advertising, but they work, and that's why they sell. That's what advertising does.
Yeah.
If you have a product worth selling.
Did he do OxyClean? Was that Billy Mays?
Yep, that's him.
Now OxyClean's in fucking
that
everything. It's in everything. It's like he sold it as this late night, infomercial type of product, right? Billy Mays here, OxyClean will make your whites whiter and all that sort of shit, right? Yeah, it's fucking snake oil. He's selling a tub of powder that's basically just borax, right? Whatever. Anyway, he starts shilling this stuff, and it becomes a big deal. And now every goddamn conditioner, every soap that you buy, like household soap, has fucking OxyClean in it. Your Tide has OxyClean in it. Your fucking dish liquid is fucking OxyClean in it. Your little pouches that you put in your dishwasher are OxyClean. Crazy shit.
Yep. Because that's what advertising does. The companies selling the big products went, oh, we have to have this, otherwise we're going to be useless.
Yeah. Oh, Tide's using OxyClean? Fuck, we better put it in this,
And instead of selling directs now to the consumer, it's in the bigger products. So, like, the advertising got him the bigger sale. Like,
right.
It does work
you
as
can still buy OxyClean in the tub for just like an enhancer if you want, or you can snort it. Apparently, you can snort it, get you really high. We don't have a big toxic takes. It's not a big one this week, but it is pretty funny, and I thought I'd share. Then we'll go back to just bantering about shit. We don't have to stay on topic. I'm not a
Sure.
stickler for topics.
Are you going to show how I fucking gotcha though?
How you got me?
I fucking gotcha. I just had the meme on hand, like from literally a couple of days before.
I'm sure you did.
My
Where was I looking again? Oh
my
yeah, there
sister
it is.
went to school for like film and television and shit, and yeah, so I found that meme. I sent it to her. Oh, I'm so glad I don't take part.
Fuck! I saw that. I laughed my ass off. That was pretty funny. Thank you for changing our lives, Donnie Darko. I have literally the dumbest movie ever. I want. I think that. Oh, damn, girl, you a bar lead because you're dense as hell. That's funny. It's a Doge. It's a Doge thing of lead.
Fox had asked, "What are you guys doing with your Friday nights?" He's like, "Watching Donnie Darko." And I just posted that because I sent it to my sister.
Oh yeah, your sister loved Donnie Darko.
No, she went to school for film. She worked in film and television for quite a while.
Yeah.
There's actually a film. I think it's on Prime right now. Storming Juno.
Oh yeah.
World War II, right?
Okay.
You know, like the Americans went into Omaha, and what was the name of the other beach?
Nebraska.
Omaha, Nebraska. The Canadians stormed Juno.
I don't know. It's not Nebraska.
It
Omaha,
might be. I don't think you're.
Omaha is the city of Nebraska, isn't it?
No. Wait, is it?
Yeah, pretty sure. So you said
But
Omaha Beach, and was it Juno Beach then?
the storming of Normandy was on 5 beaches. One of them was Omaha. I think that's the big one that the Americans hit, right? Where like Easy Company, that's Band of Brothers, and the other big one that the Americans hit. Yeah, it might be fucking Nebraska. Sounds right to me, but I could be wrong. But the Canadian forces hit the center beach of the 5. Right, it's like one long stretch, and the center beach was called Juno. And I have family on my mom's side that were there. They were paratroopers. They were fucking aquatic tankers.
Night 6.
Good night. Good night. Thanks for coming. So when she was super psyched to work on this film, and it is really bad. The actors are fucking terrible, but it's worth a watch if you want to know what happened, like outside of what the Americans were doing, right?
Sure.
Because they always tell the American story and leave everybody else out.
Yeah, the Saving Private Ryan shit.
But yeah, the Canadian.
What's this film called?
Storming Juno.
Storming Juno. It's on Netflix right now?
I think, or Prime.
Okay, I'll look it up.
But yeah, Canadians did good work there. They do get the facts pretty good. Even though the actors are fucking terrible. Like that's where they cut costs, was actors. It was gross. But she was proud to work on it. I'm proud of her.
That's great.
Yeah. Otherwise, outside the acting, actually a pretty good film. And yeah, like, but she also loves bad films, and she fucking hates Donnie Darko. Like, she just absolutely cannot fucking stand it. So I sent her that meme.
Well, I will say this: it is a kind of pretentious film. It is a little pretentious in the same way that that one with Kevin Spacey and Annette Bening and the girl with all the fucking flower petals. What the hell was that called? You know what I'm talking about?
Wait, Magnolia? No, what the fuck?
No, that
No,
was
it's
Tom Cruise. It's something
also a
like
terrible.
it's also I can't remember what the fuck it's called. Anyway, it's kind of pretentious. It's about like, oh, let's show white suburban life in a
Oh
small
yeah, yeah,
town,
yeah.
right? Donnie
And the
Darko is
guy
very much
shoots,
like that. Everyone's a
and the guy
caricature.
shoots him. Right?
Sorry?
The guy shoots him in his garage.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. American Beauty. That's the
American
one.
Beauty, that's it. American Beauty. Yeah. American Beauty, not booty. Anyway, uh yeah, these films are kind of pretentious. Donnie Darko is kind of pretentious. But I'm gonna lie if I wouldn't say I find it entertaining. I find it an entertaining movie.
I, I don't know. Like, eventually, there's this message in it that is
I don't
just
get to, I just think if it's a pretty cool time travel pretty cool little time travel movie. It's
there's
kind of
time
weird.
travel as a part of it, but I mean, look, if you no, they very clearly make the movie mean something,
You think?
and yes,
What does it
it's
mean?
better. It means it's better if I, the main character, were dead.
So the subtle
All of these
messaging is suburban white boy should be
yeah,
dead to save suburban white girl.
all of these terrible things would have been avoided if I had just died sooner. Like, yeah, it's very clearly the message of the movie, right? Which is just like that's wrong. That's no, no.
No, I don't know if that. Well, here's the thing I take from it. Okay, so
No,
Donnie
he
Darko.
gleefully laughs and giggles as he goes back to his bed and pulls the covers over, and the engine falls through the roof and crushes him.
Yeah,
And none of those bad things happen now.
well, but there were good things that happened. There are actually good things that happened when he lived those 28 days because he exposed that pedophile guy, right? Now, because he dies, that pedophile keeps going on and going on.
But the other, right? Because guess what? This shit about Hollywood, the Hollywood pedophile complex, has been going on a lot longer than we knew.
Yeah,
So pedophiles should get away with it, and all the other people should just be happy that this young disturbed boy is dead.
that's
Yeah,
that's
like
quite the interesting take. You know what? I see what you're saying. So there's even a deeper messaging in there that is more insidious in nature.
it's all bad. This whole movie is bad. I am literally the dumbest movie ever made.
World Wars. I've seen the sequels. I don't need to know the origin story. Oh, I'm a little high, man. Sorry.
I'm kind of drunk, man. Let's let's rip let's rip it up. Let's do it.
Okay, now what about American Beauty? Because we touched on that briefly. What is your thought on the movie American Beauty?
So there was a time when Family Guy was actually still good,
Yeah,
and there's that gag about filming the plastic bag blowing in the wind. The
yeah.
circulatory system is God is screaming from on high, right? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Seth MacFarlane used to be really good at ripping on Hollywood for some of their stupid shit.
He was like Elon Musk if Elon Musk had got laid in high school, and then he became a filthy leftist.
I have a feeling though that Seth MacFarlane is still very much
Okay,
kept in line because Elon Musk, I'm sure he's got people yelling at him, "You can't do that because that just does this." But then he's like, "I don't care." So, you know,
you're fired. I'm paying you your full severance. Get out.
yeah,
I can afford your severance. Like I've got it in my pocket.
yeah. I do appreciate the guy. I do believe that he genuinely wants to preserve free speech. I don't think he's doing it just as a to look good. I think he's genuine in that. And I do think the idea of getting to Mars and getting people on Mars, uh, I think that's a noble goal too, and I think he genuinely wants to do that. I mean,
Yeah.
sure, he'd be made rich because of it, because of all the technology and all the way people are going to use his rockets to do other things than go to Mars. But, uh, but yeah, no, I'm a fan of the dude.
Yeah, I'm not mad at him. Not yet.
I should go back to that topic because I just started talking about
Yeah.
Musk.
And I'm just like, I'm not putting full faith into a person. I just where we are now, where he's going now. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's ride that train for now.
Oh, I'm in the same boat. I'm in the same boat. I don't put faith in other people in that sense too. I mean, I'll listen to what you have to say. Hey, what you say makes a lot of sense. I appreciate that. Let's see you implement it. I will, I'll support you as long as you don't, uh, what do you call it? Compromise your sensibilities, compromise your principles, right? So,
This is a big step, right? The advertiser money.
yeah.
Uh, Tommy Robinson's back on X, right?
Who's Tommy Robinson? Oh, Tommy Robinson. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Tommy Robin. Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
Where's Alex Jones?
Yeah, and I don't believe his excuse. Well, he talked about murdering children, and I can't stand that, so I can't abide that. He made fun of murdered children. Well, I don't know that he necessarily did make fun of murdered children, but anyway, he undermined an official narrative about murdered children. Let's say that.
Wait, Alex?
Yeah, that's why he
And
was
that's why.
removed. That's why he was removed from X.
Well, wait, no. Did he
Oh,
ever come back?
well, that I'm sure I should correct myself. That's why Musk says he won't come back to X
Mm,
because he can't abide by the murdered children controversy. Speaking specifically about the what do you call it, that mass shooting, right?
yeah, Sandy Hook,
Hmm.
right? That the one time the guy is not right.
Well, that's
And
just
you
thing,
know
though,
what?
right?
You
He
know what?
believed he believed it. They're saying no, he didn't believe it. He said it so that he could capitalize on it. So
Baloney. And you know what? I'm seeing more and more videos. People are like, again, 4chan full. Go look for the unedited video. That's the only place you can find it now.
speaking of which, let's go to
Yeah,
4chan. Why don't we go to 4chan? See what's going on in the 4chans.
I don't. I don't know. He was wrong, man. It might still well be fucking bullshit.
I'm sure it is. It could be. I mean, I shouldn't say I'm sure it is. I'm sure it could be. Excuse me.
How much of history is a lie, right?
True.
Things are the timelines aren't right. It just
All right, let's go
Canadian
there.
Ed.
Okay, so here's the meme. Here's the meme associated with this thread. Thought it'd be fun to invite my friends over for lunch on my on my dog's birthday just for fun. Everyone canceled after I put the delivery order in. Little Caesar. All right, here's some of the memes.
Go back to the main page for a second. Can you just click
Sorry.
back? I hope it's the same. Can you just click back? I want to see the main page.
Okay.
Yeah, like Canadian add-ons alert. The
Oh,
black and white picture of this
yeah.
mustachioed
It's like,
guy.
yeah, interested in Anglo
No,
culture.
no, just looking over the whole thing broadly, like that Canadian flags calling for Canadian Anglos, the
Oh, the fact
mustachioed
that
guy,
on
the
4chan.
fucking cat pictures, like yeah, like it is so ridiculous ridiculously diverse in terms of what people are thinking and saying. So much of it is fucking glowing. So
Yeah.
much of it is overlooked real. Like, do you know how many times people blew whistles that were real and this website dismissed it as fake and gay? Indian flags, frog memes, cats, mustachioed men. Canadian Anglos come to our honeypot. We're advertising like
Yeah. There you are, fucking
and
feds.
Billy Mays advertising on
Yeah,
4chan.
just unfortunate. Or excuse me. Okay, serious question. What if it's not the Jews?
So again, it's not quote unquote the Jews.
I don't know what this is. TKD. What does that stand for?
Oh, I'm not allowed to say it on YouTube. Total K word death.
Okay, well we'll ignore it then. Uh, Anonymous says yes. There's Jew likes. It's it's the golems too. Misdirection is the kike's oldest trick. The Illuminati are the Jews. Oh my god. It is serious answer. Like the guy, no fucking. He's not fucking around with your shit. But it is.
Look, I said it on my channel. If you're okay, I'll go with it on your channel. It's fine.
I
Yeah.
want to read the rest of these first, though. The truth behind the matter is irrelevant. People just need an enemy. Oh, isn't that fucking sweet? Let's see who said what. Oh, baby, just finished freshman philosophy. Can we just be adults about this? 8 million mostly secular Jews wedged into the sea of a hyper-religious Arabs was a shitty idea. Oh, there's no response to that yet. Disingenuous posters promote an obsession with Jews in order to keep you distracted and marginalized.
This
We're
is
like,
probably.
and then this guy responds. First he says, "Oh, baby, just finished freshman philosophy." More like just watch an introduction to philosophy video.
This is a slide thread, right? It just
It's a
takes
slide
up a
thread.
thread.
It's probably not even there
and
anymore.
you just
Oh, it is
take
there.
new
It's
threads
just
that push old threads down.
yeah.
But like, you say Italian mafia, nobody
Yeah.
bats an eye. Chinese triad, nobody blinks. Mexican cartel, Japanese yakuza. Pick a ethnicity or a race, and their organized crime system that's sort of ethnically charged because being family like royals is what keeps them together. As soon as you say Jewish cabal,
Yeah.
Jewish crime syndicate, people lose their fucking minds, right? You just hate all the Jews. This is where the Khazarian mafia has been super successful. They did something that the Mexican cartels and the Italian mafia, Chinese triad have never thought to do. Convince all the normie ethnics of their type that any attack against the criminal syndicate is a threat of genocide to the whole group of people.
Right. Yeah.
So all the normie Jews stand up and say, "Oh my God, you just want to genocide all of us. Never again."
It's another Showa.
And so people throw the baby out with the bathwater.
Right.
Michael Schumer is a corrupt piece of shit who's probably eating babies and taking adrenochrome, snorting adrenochrome off Nancy Pelosi's ass. Oh, you just hate Jews. Nope. He's a very bad man who does very bad things.
Oh, he is a very bad man. Yeah. Actually, most of Congress is filled with very bad men and very bad women.
Sure. Yeah. And like almost half of them have dual citizenship with Israel. Right? Because the leadership of Israel is part of this cabal.
Didn't we dispute this though?
We tried.
We went on,
but there was no proof.
there was no proof. There's no indication. It just a
There is
lot of them.
very little evidence in
There are
either
a number of
direction.
them that have dual citizenship. It doesn't indicate exactly what country they have dual citizenship with.
But what screamed was this is an anti-Semitic trope. Well, it's
Yeah,
not anti-Semitic. I'm just asking the questions, and asking the questions now is anti-Semitic because they have convinced all of not only the Jewish people, the Jewish normies, but the
yeah,
other normies that even asking the question means that you want to murder all the Jews, right?
yes.
Yeah.
Hey, we got one
Italian
viewer
mafia.
on Twitch
Oh, you
apparently.
just want to murder all the Italians. You hate Italian people.
Yeah,
What a genius trick.
it's true. All right. We have a viewer on Twitch. Hey, if you're there on Twitch and you're watching, feel free to leave a comment. We will see it in here. I'm gonna go back to poll. What do you think about our girl here, Georgia Maloney? She gets a reality check on immigration. Italy's populist prime minister vowed to crack down on illegal immigration. Things didn't work out that way. You are clearly new to the Italian policy. Maloney still has a long way to Salvini. Old misleading headline. Here are some newer ones. Demoralizing shill. Italy's parliament approves crackdown on teenage migrants. Italian PM steps up crackdown on migrants with deportation decree. It's Sunday, 5 a.m. in Italy. Haha, the right is never going to stop or even reduce mass immigration. I come on this site and tell you deceptive idiots this every night, and you all know it too. 9% of you at least. All your anti immigrant rhetoric is a scam to keep yourselves in power so you can keep on with the capitalism. Capitalism requires immigrants. So you don't get rid of immigration by voting for the right. And every racist knows
What are you
this,
talking about?
including all of Paul, Maloney, and Trump. And they all know they're directly causing mass immigration for profit. They'll just say anything to stay in power. What do you think about that?
I think everything up to the last thing is bullshit.
Yeah,
Yeah, a lot of politicians will say whatever they need to keep their jobs. Like
yeah,
people want their job, they're doing their job, they want to be in their job and get paid to do their job. But all of that other shit, like that's all wrong.
it
That's
is.
all fundamentally wrong.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah, no,
you're
it doesn't. I think it also is just looking at the
in
subject
capitalism.
from the other from looking at it from a very narrow point of view. You got to understand mass immigration or mass illegal immigration. It's not even just a political issue. At this point, at one point, it is a populist issue where the people will just say enough, and they'll just start killing people as they roll up onto the beach. They're just going to start shooting them. They're just going to start, popping their boats and throwing them back out to sea. They're going to get into fights with them. There's going to be people, regular people, pushing back against what they view as invasion.
You're not wrong, and I can't remember where I heard this. It's not my idea. Someone told me or said to me over the internet about the left sees violence like a dial,
Mm-hmm.
where, oh, these parents are protesting their children's education, so we can turn the dial up to 2 and protest loudly and get the police to stop them from, interfering in the school board stuff.
Right.
Black Lives Matter, we go up to a 6, so we burn down a Wendy's with a person inside of it, and oh, we think you're a Nazi, so now we're punching you in the face and maybe trying to lick off shots, and then we turn the dial down again because we think we're winning. For the right, violence is a switch. The switch is in the off position because we want to do it the right way, the democratic way. We're trying to do things through the process and prove the process works, and we're gonna, fight legally and whatever, go on, and suddenly we realize the whole of the government is been corrupted and bought. Our Supreme Courts are no longer protecting our constitutional rights. They're just actually saying, your rights are actually fungible, and we can just remove them whenever we want to.
Yeah,
So now we have
that's the
recourse.
thing in Canada.
We don't switch fire into the crowd. There's
That's the
nothing
thing.
left. Just shit
That's
on.
sorry.
Yeah.
With regards to
Go ahead.
Canada,
Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, with regards to Canada and the Supreme Court in particular, we have become a rubber stamp of the Liberal government.
Yes.
Our Supreme Court has become a rubber stamp of the Liberal government. Anything the Liberal government wants to do, the Supreme Court will uphold it. I mean, you might get a win now and again. You just throw a bone every now and again. But for the most part, no. If the government's doing it, it's within their rights.
Well, that's the perfect example, right? Like look at the Canadian government, the Canadian Supreme Court. Look at the protests of 2022, the Great Honkening, mean magic.
Yeah.
Hold the line meant stand arm in arm and get fucking beaten.
Yeah.
Hold the line did not mean enact violence on people. It meant stand your fucking ground
Right.
and take
Now,
your
they're
shot.
trying to equate. They're trying to equate her
Poor
saying that.
Alexandra LeBlanc got a fucking like smoke bomb in the fucking chest, right? As they beat her and the people around her with sticks. And there was no counter violence, right? The switch was in the off position.
Yeah.
Because we're going to fight it the democratic way, the right way. But guess what? There's got to be a point where you have to say, I am now under attack. My life, my well-being is under threat. I have to turn on the switch. And when I turn on the switch, it's going to be burn it all down, fire into the crowd indiscriminately, because there's no other recourse, right? Obviously, like look at Ireland, right?
Yep.
Right. The shit that's gone down in Ireland for the past, is that just a couple of weeks?
Yep.
Right. The blowback will be definitive.
Did you hear what Conor McGregor said?
There's nothing left, right?
You hear what Conor McGregor said, yeah?
I've heard a lot of Conor McGregor's.
No, with regards to what's happening currently in Ireland.
That if they don't do something, he will. That thing.
It's a war. We're not going to. If you think we're just going to lay down while people try to kill our kids and our women, no, we're at war. So forget it. Like we're not gonna back down over this shit.
The saddest thing is seeing how Sinn Féin,
they become so woke. They become so fucking leftist. They don't even give a shit about Ireland anymore.
Bullshit. They haven't become leftist and woke. They've become rich and fat. And they want to keep their rich and fat. And they've stopped doing what drove them to get where they are. Because they're rich and fat now. And they just want more riches and fat. And yeah, like they'll sacrifice the whole of what led them to be that way to stay rich and fat.
Yeah.
Like that's why Elon
typical leftist anyway.
I didn't get rich and fat by selling out to you. I got rich and fat by doing things. And I do things. That's my fucking value. What's this?
Unrealized gains or unrealized loss on security. So the title is Global Financial Meltdown, Global Liquidity Crisis, Fake and Gay Imminent. There was a repo death disaster that occurred in September of 2019, right before the infamous Event 201 took place in October 2019. What the fuck's Event 201? Meanwhile, at BlackRock, the month prior, in August of 2019, they were discussing the mechanisms that they would be used to orchestrate a controlled demolition and bailout of the stock market. COVID was actually a 2008 style bailout that was disguised as a fake and gay pandemic. They are doing it again. In late 2021, there was another simulation conducted in Israel for the third time that year, with every major economy anticipated in these events. The purpose of these events was to simulate a scenario where most of the developed world is hit by a cyber attack all at the same time and are forced to shut off their devices and disconnect from the internet to stave off the damage. This is an excuse. This is the faking gay they will use to justify yet another bailout. There you go. Thoughts?
Rothschilds.
Could be.
We are bailed out.
The COVID-19 pandemic is shaking.
How long is that?
1 minute 42 seconds.
Oh, that's not so bad. Okay, hold on.
You want me to show it?
Now money out of nothing.
Right,
so the bailout money.
The COVID-19 pandemic has shaken our economies and societies to the core.
Sorry, you want me to stop and wait till you're done?
Let's trade back and forth here, I think.
Okay.
Because if it's any good, I'll have thoughts on it, and I think we'll align here.
Okay. Am I okay to go ahead and play it?
Not just yet.
Okay.
Because we print money out of nothing.
Yeah.
But we give the money to the central banks. They have the opportunity to use the new funds before the market is affected organically by new funds.
Right.
So they buy up. This is basically how BlackRock made all their money in the 2007-2008 financial crisis, right?
Yeah.
At the new money from the bailout, they got to buy up all those properties for cheap, pennies on the dollar sometimes.
Yep.
And then resell them later as the economy recovered. But they had fake money that they were giving away for real value. Right? Value is real. Money should be a representation of the value. If you can print the money out of nothing, it's not representing anything. And if you inject false money into an organic economy, the organic economy will react, but it takes time. It takes 12, 13, 14, 15 months.
Right.
So if they get the benefit of cash before the organism properly reacts, they get all the value.
Yep.
Money is worthless, but the value is still real. And that's what happened. That's why BlackRock is worth like, what is it, $12 trillion, $13 trillion?
Something like that.
Because their value is real, but the money is fake. So, okay,
I just realized this is a video from the World Economic Forum.
The COVID-19 pandemic has shaken our economies and societies to the core and shown us how vulnerable we are to biological threats. In the digital world, similar risks are being overlooked right now. A cyber attack with COVID-like characteristics would spread faster and further than any biological virus. Its reproductive rate would be around 10 times greater than what we've experienced with the coronavirus. To give you an idea, one of the fastest worms in history, the 2003 Slammer sapphire worm, doubled in size approximately.
Sorry, do you want me to pause that?
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't hear you. I apologize. You want me to go back a bit?
No, it's okay.
Please.
COVID did not have an effect on the economy. Our reaction had an effect on the economy.
Right. Well, yeah, I'm sure there was some minor effects on the economy, but if anything, I'm sure a lot of money was generated because of it. Not just like, businesses weren't selling shit. Well, some businesses were selling lots of shit, But
there was some supercomputer AI war game thing.
Yeah.
Where they, digitally blew up a fucking refinery in Iran.
Okay.
And said, this one thing, the global economy is so delicate. If this one bad thing happened, in just a couple of days, all of the world economy would collapse. Blah, 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 blah. Look at this war game that we gamed. It literally happened. the thing they gamed happened for real.
Yeah.
And in 2 days, instead of collapsing, the economy corrected because there were other sources of oil that started selling what they had, and nothing changed. There was literally zero effect because a huge organic economy is pretty much inviolable. You cannot stop it from happening. Right?
Right.
The amount of damage you would have to cause is so great that if you didn't mean to do it constantly for several months, you couldn't accomplish what they thought would happen, right? Like it was basically proven wrong.
Yeah.
The one enormous tree that's feeding all of these birds and plants and squirrels and raccoons or whatever in the forest and keeps the whole forest alive.
Yeah.
If that one tree dies, oh my God, the whole thing's gonna no. Other plants will grow and
Yeah.
fill the gap very fucking quickly.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
the times will be rough for a little bit, but you know what? You won't have an absolute catastrophe.
No.
And in a proper free economy, it's the same thing. This huge thing that's so important to the global oil trade gets blown up. There are other oil traders that will fill the gap very quickly.
Yeah.
And
Actually,
nothing
it's kind
bad
of
happens.
funny when that pipeline got sabotaged, and people are like, "Oh no, it's the price of gas is going to go up, and the oil is going to skyrocket." Blah blah blah. Actually, Russia and China were pretty quick with a BRICS arrangement, from what I understand. They're like, "Boom, okay, this is why you and I are like working together, pal, because they're going to bullshit like this." Anyway, I'm gonna
Because
continue on with this bullshit World Economic Forum video.
Approximately every 8.5 seconds, infecting over 75,000 devices in 10 minutes and almost 11 million devices in 24 hours. Fortunately, at least until now, cyber attacks have not impacted our health the way pandemics have, but the economic damages, and therefore the impact they have had on our daily lives, have been equal and sometimes even greater. You see, the only way to...
Yeah, what's up?
We didn't need a cyber attack to create exactly what they just described.
No.
We needed our governments, our UN, our WHO to scare everybody into doing it themselves.
Yeah.
You don't need 100% control. You need 3 to 5% of people to shut down their own lives purposely, and that will have a real effect, a much greater effect than destroying an oil refinery that fucking puts out 1/3 or 1/4 of all the world's oil.
Right.
Right. You get people to stop buying oil. You get people to stop going out to buy gas. Right. 5% of them stop buying gasoline because they're not leaving their house.
Yeah.
That's a way bigger impact on a global economy than destroying that one port.
Yep.
And all you have to do is scare them.
That's just it. That's the whole means of government, right? Government, the need the government fulfills is a sense of panic that you don't have 100% control of everything in your life.
You never have 100% control.
No, I know, but that's the gap. That's the gap the government is meant to fill, right? We have this.
I don't even agree with
that. I'm not saying that because I agree with it. I'm saying human beings organized socially in a modern Western industrial society have this desire to make sure that everything's okay. And the things that they can't take care of, they're going to pay taxes to have the government take care of it. So it means the roads are going to be cleaned, garbage is going to get picked up. That's the stuff that they expect, right? That is the role the government in their mind fills. And so they will always listen to the government because that government is going to be the ones that provide them with the safety and the comfort that they expect government to provide. And if they're telling us to put on masks, they're telling us not to leave our house, then we do what they say.
They do what we say.
No, I'm serious. That's what I mean.
No,
Like
I
they
know
capitalize
that.
on the fear, and they get their corporate and media buddies to get right in on it because hey, we're all going to make it rich. All going to make it rich. All right.
Stop the exponential propagation of a COVID-like cyber threat is to fully disconnect the millions of vulnerable devices from one another and from the internet. All of this in a matter of days. A single day without the internet would cost our economies more than 50 billion US dollars, and that's before considering the economic and societal damages should these devices be linked to essential services such as transport or healthcare. As the digital realm increasingly merges with our physical world, the ripple effects of cyber attacks on our safety just keep on expanding into far.
I'm sorry, $50 billion. On the other hand, it sounds wonderful. Right. Notice how many times they use the word COVID, COVID-like,
COVID-like cyber attack. Like, well, that's the thing. He's saying like, remember COVID? Really scary shit, huh? Well, imagine if that happened to your computer.
Yeah.
Like, but the problem is people are like, fucking COVID's a doddle. Everybody's had it now. Everybody who's still alive 2 years later, they're good. They're fine. They've been exposed to it one way or another.
I don't know about you. I would happily trade $50 billion out of this country alone to shut off all devices and make it so that I have to drive out to fucking Borington and just like guess your neighborhood and be like, "Guy, you okay?" Because I haven't gone and called on somebody. People today don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Calling on someone. I
remember the phrase.
Let's go call on this guy.
Yeah.
They don't know what that means.
Yeah.
I would love the opportunity to have like a real excuse. I got to go call on someone.
You know what? The funny thing is, all these memories of growing up in Oakville on McCraney Street are just like flooding back into my head now, just from you saying that one phrase. Hey, let's go call on Steve Bongard. Let's see what he's doing. Well, let's go call on Paul. What the hell was his name? Paul something. He was a little shit, man. We would up and down the street, like I lived on McCraney Street. We like, what's that?
Manby Avenue, St. Vital, Winnipeg.
Oh yeah.
We go call on Cam and call on Brian.
Yeah. What are you doing today? I think we'll go call on Steve Edwardson, see if he wants to go down the creek and like fucking catch crayfish or some shit.
We got to know where you live. We got to go to your door. We got to knock on and then we got to go get in trouble.
That's right.
Yeah. They don't know what that is, man.
Yeah. Picking up those crayfish, putting them in a little fucking soup can, and then going throwing them in somebody's mailbox. So when they go and grab their mail, they get
paid. Minnows. We had a man-made lake that had minnows, and we would go get the minnows.
What'd you do with the minnows? Did you just go fishing with them or whatever?
No, there was no fish besides the minnows. It's a man-made lake.
So why would you catch the minnows?
Because we were bored and it was fun.
Oh, okay, fair enough. No, I hear you say, you get them in a net and then you put them in a jar, and then you'd have to let them go. You couldn't fucking keep them.
But
no, I remember us getting like where I lived on McCraney Street. There was a little creek that passed through the neighborhood, and we go down there in the summer, and we'd be down there all fucking day. Our parents just say, "Oh, go play with your friends," and they kick us out on a Saturday, and we'd be fucking out all day.
Yeah.
Might come back for lunch, but more than likely, we'll probably come back by 4:00. Anyway, we would go down to the creek and we would catch crayfish, and then we go to the neighbor who lived right next to the park where the creek was, and we put the fucking crayfish in their mailbox, and they would. So the idea being, They would reach in and grab the mail, and the crayfish would pinch them, right? And we didn't have anything against this guy. He just happened to be the house to live right next to the park where the creek was. Yeah, good old days, man. Fucking hell.
Oh, like in Manitoba,
Yeah,
in the high summer,
yeah.
the sun is up at almost 10 p.m.
Oh wow.
And I remember being knee deep in fucking man-made lake pond water trying to catch, and I would hear my sister, my older sister, standing out. I'm 7, she's 14. I could hear her from the porch, Irving, home, because that's what everybody did. They would just yell your name and say home, and you would have to go now. Like it's time. The street lights came on,
Yeah.
and now you have to go home. And they don't know this. They don't remember. They don't have neighborhoods. They have, like, the online world has done so much good and so much terrible things.
Yeah, I mean it's
You know?
it's no wonder the younger kids today don't seem to be having any actual social connections. Like most of them younger kids today, like people who are in their teens right now, they're not having sex. They're not having sex, they're not hanging out with friends.
They
And I'm like,
prefer video games.
that's it. Or they lack the social skills to or they couldn't care less about the social skills to even try and go out on a date. But
They never
yeah,
learned them. And now after COVID too, right? Like
yeah,
the at this point, what, 15 to 20
yeah,
are fucked. Some of the early 20s and mid 20s kids are okay, but in general, the whole like their social interactions are. And what people don't understand is that somehow this is by design.
yeah.
That this is you should live in a pod and eat bugs.
It's almost
Yeah,
like they
yeah, I
decided,
don't
hey, you
mind.
know what? Let's take Fahrenheit 451. We'll take Brave New World by Aldous Huxley. Then we'll take 1984 by George Orwell. And let's try and model a society based on all of these things. We'll merge all the greatest elements of the societies in those books, and we'll make one awful dystopian world where only a handful of us actually live high on the hog and can just ignore those plebes because we never have to go touch them on the ground. They want Elysium, is what they want. That's what they want.
Yeah, and people forget that part of Brave New World, like it's basically the first interaction. If you read it, is oh yeah, this dude took a pill to become a woman for the weekend, right?
Yeah, there's like it's also like
And
there's
now you can just take
things
a
in it where
pill.
they're like these children, like one kid was getting scolded by the teacher because they didn't want to be involved in sexual play with one of their classmates because they were nervous about it, and I'm like, yeah, that's pretty much what they're doing right now with kids. They're trying to like sexualize them
Grooming.
ever younger and younger and they're grooming them exactly. Yeah, but the weird twisted psychology in Brave New World is such that no, children are sexual beings, and the idea that we should have they've maintained their innocence uh, for any longer than 5 or 6 years is it's actually really bad and it's primitive, and this is what they put out there, right?
It's
So
offensive.
it's
It's
offensive
offensive
to deny your child the joys of uh, tingly feelings in the
and
nether regions.
isn't it weird that the joke from Babylon B is that like grooming on X is reduced by 83% since Disney removed all advertising. And here we are with this "go fuck yourself" banner, and Elon Musk is saying this outright. that like, yeah, it's like a repudiation of
Yeah,
all of those things
exactly.
from him. And basically he's just throwing it up and like, let's fight. You versus us.
Yeah,
Do people want this or not? Like,
yeah. Like, he's taken the gamble that he believes that people care more about free speech than uh don't. And I don't know if that's necessarily the right gamble, but we'll see.
it's the
Although
right
he's now just can't get away with lying about having sex with a girl from the next town because of the internet. No, I just mean like in terms of they've done surveys of young people in terms of their.
she goes to another school.
Yeah, I met her in Niagara Falls. She's from Buffalo, but I met her in Niagara Falls. Um, no,
Don't even laugh. I had the
they're-
roughest time when I was like 14
yeah,
because my dad's shop was out in Pickering and I lived
okay.
in the West End. And yeah, I had a thing going on with the girl out in Pickering.
Oh
And I
yeah,
was like, yo, whatever, yeah, for sure.
sure.
And
You
it's
got
like,
this
shut up,
girlfriend in
no.
Pickering, and this is before
She's
you had like.
cool.
Was this before you had like a cell phone and saying, "No, here's her picture. Here we are together."
There were no cell phones.
Yeah, you were
It
that
didn't
young.
exist.
Yeah, that's right. Some fucked up shit. No, I apparently they're just reporting when they ask them about their sexual activity, they say no. More so than in any, than the
Yeah.
previous generations. So well, so we're over 2 hours now. It's a good long talk. I don't remember what we talked about. I'm a little bit out there right now. But
It was it was
I think it was pretty good if I recall correctly.
it it was all over the place. Like we covered these wide berths out in the ocean of information,
It's true.
trying to wrangle Elon Musk's thought process. So
That's
we had to go far and wide and deep. And we're not Elon Musk, so we will never be able to condense it the way that he can do it. But
No.
thanks everyone for listening because yeah, I hope we made some sense tonight because
Oh, I'm sure we did.
I really had a good time.
Me too. I'm just gonna before we do anything else, I just want to check something. I was sure they had one that was like humor, interests, creative. No.
Jokes.
Yeah, I thought they had jokes. Ah, fuck it. I was looking for a joke. Let's find a joke.
I had a couple. I forgot them. I always draw a blank when we're pressed for time.
Yeah, I should do one beforehand. All right, here's some dad jokes. Did you hear
With the
about
banner.
did you hear about the circus fire? It was
I did not.
It was intense. Did you hear about the guy who invented lifesavers? They say he made a mint. What did one wall say to the other wall?
What did he say?
I'll meet you at the corner.
There was a Twitter video about fucking aliens telling dad jokes. You should just retell those.
Yeah.
I can't remember No, they were so good.
I went to buy some camouflage pants, but I couldn't find any. That was good. Okay, folks, I think we're going to call it there. Mr. Twin, I appreciate you as always being my co-host on the Ammunation. Is there plans? Oh, you know what? I'm in Virginia next week. Next week's a big week for me, folks. I'm going to be in Virginia. I'm going to be over there at Ballahack Airsoft in Chesapeake playing games.
Take some proper video.
We'll see what I do. I don't know. I have a GoPro. I might just bring that, like, I don't know, hold it, attach it to something, or I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I won't be around next Saturday unless I'm at the hotel. I can do it like remotely. I could do that like on my tablet or something if you want.
I might go live, guys. Be aware. Whether or not Craig's there, maybe I'll play some games. Actually, do a casual gaming stream.
That'd be good. That'd be good. All right, folks. Thanks again for coming out to the Ammunation. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please take a moment, subscribe, like videos, share videos, do all that kind of stuff. And we'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Good night. Hail Sigmar.